Hey everyone, Ciao Ragazzi. I'm Tom, and if you're new here, welcome. I moved out here to Texas Hill Country 7 years ago from the Princeton, New Jersey area. And I'm gonna go through my top 5 likes and my top 5 dislikes of living out here I'm in Dripping Springs, the gateway to Hill Country, hence the name of the channel, Gateway Velo. We're 20 miles outside of Austin to the west. So let's get on with the list. We'll start with my likes first. And at the end, I do have some additional likes and dislikes that I didn't put on the list. Like number 1. The scenery out here is great and green all year long. I mean, it will get a little brown in the summer because it won't rain for usually from June to September. But even in the winter, the trees keep their leaves all year long. These live oak trees, I know they're prevalent through most of the South, and they drop their leaves like the end of March, beginning of April, and they'll drop the leaves and grow new leaves instantly. So there's never a time when the trees have no leaves, like on the East Coast over the winter. And also, in the same respect, my number 2 like is that the riding season, you can ride all year long here. You may have to bundle up at times when one of those Texas winter cold fronts come through. You hear me mention that in other videos. I call it Texas winter 1, 2, and 3. You know, a cold front will come through and you might even have snow. It'll be cold for 2-3 days. You know, start out 30 degrees and then 40, 50, and then 5 days later, it's 70 degrees again. Number 3, the cycling community out here is super welcoming. I've always bumped into riders on the road and everybody is really friendly. And even on mountain bike trails, you don't really get people on the East Coast chatting you up or passing somebody on the road waving to you. And the same thing goes with the drivers out here. People will wave to you. There's been numerous times I've gotten flats and the rancher will pull over and say, hey, you know, everything okay? Oh, you need a ride back to Dripping. So it's a great community. And number 4, there's also a lot of options for riding out here. There are gravel roads, not right where I'm in this area, but you drive 15 minutes to the west and then you're into really deep hill country. And there's tons and tons of gravel roads. And the same thing goes with if you go to the east of Austin, once you get, 20, 30 miles. I've done some pretty big gravel events where there'll be 50-mile gravel rides and maybe 4 miles of it is on a paved road. Number 5, it's a very friendly bike culture, especially in Austin, where there's a lot of sheltered bike lanes. You really don't realize it unless you have ridden some of the rides down in town. Like when you go through all the neighbors, they have little like plastic stakes, so you're riding in a sheltered lane. You don't even realize that you're in the middle of a city. And of course, no place is perfect. So here's my top 5 dislikes. The heat out here can be trying. Texas is hot. That being said, I'm not in the city here. So, being out here in just 20 miles, it's the temperature in the morning, very rarely is it hotter than 75 degrees at like 7 o'clock in the morning. And as long as you're done by noon, you're maybe mid 90s. And the heat just kind of builds throughout the day. It doesn't hit 100 degrees till like 3 in the afternoon. And that's the bad part, because then it's still like 8 o'clock at night. It's 100 degrees. My number 2 dislike is the chip seal roads out here. I thought the roads were rough on the East Coast, the chip seal, but there they use granite, I guess ground granite, so they can make the chips smaller. And here they're using limestone, so they're like these little rounded off balls, and the surface is just like terrible. You can't imagine. That's one of the reasons why I switched to this SL7 over my Cervelo, was just so I could put bigger tires because of the road surface. My number 3 dislike is Texas is a big place, and so are the distance between towns. So like here, Dripping Springs, Wimberley is like 15 miles on the back roads, and Austin, the same thing, it's 20. And then Johnson City is another like 15 miles. So you don't have water stops, and you're out in the ranches. So that's the biggest problem in the summer, is getting water. And then my number 4 dislike is until you get here, you've never heard of Cedar Fever. And it's this particular area, like from here down to San Antonio, there's a lot of this certain type of cedar tree. I don't know the name. Maybe I'll Google it and I'll put it down below here, the name of the tree. But in like January to March, it'll release like this unbelievable amount of cedar pollen. I'm lucky it doesn't affect me, but some people actually get flu-like symptoms from it. And number 5 is the wind just never seems to end out here. I mean, that's why I'm stuck filming in this garage half the time, because the wind is so bad that you just get too much mic noise. If you get out early sometimes, for me, the wind is prevalent out of the south, so my rides always head south. So a lot of times I'll get lucky. It'll be maybe 2, 3, 4 mile an hour winds going south, and then it'll pick up just as we turn around. All in all, I do enjoy living here and riding here. The good definitely outweighs the bad. The weather is almost always nice enough for a ride. You do have rainy days, but nothing like on the East Coast, where some years you just got stuck in that rain every weekend. And now for some of my additional likes and dislikes about New Jersey and Texas. Some of these are not cycling related, but here in Texas, the sky is just beautiful and clear almost all the time. And the sunsets can be amazing, like nothing I've seen any other parts of the country. My other additional like for Texas is, since it is so dry, there's no mountain biking in the mud. I'm always just on dirt. And in fact, out here, I think it's called caliche, the type of dirt. It's really frowned upon to ride trails on a muddy day if it rains. And one more additional dislike for Texas is that 95% of Texas is privately owned land. So mountain biking, for the most part, you have to get a Texas State Park season pass, or even the county park, you have to pay. Travis County has a trail network. The South Austin Trail Network system is free, but half the time it's like a 30-minute drive for me to get there. So I do have a little 6-mile loop here right in Dripping Springs at their ranch park that's part of the Dripping Springs High School mountain bike team. And some of my additional likes for New Jersey, there are many more back roads to choose from where I lived in the Pennington, Princeton, New Jersey, Hunterdon County. I guess because it's so old, you know, 300 years old, that area. Excuse me. That all those little farmstead roads are now paved going through the woods. And another dislike for me in New Jersey is I suffered from allergies, especially the grass. So I used to suffer like a dog in June, and I wouldn't even race. I would break out in hives just from the pollen in the air in the spring. Hey, if you've ridden out here in the Dripping Springs, Austin, Hill Country area, drop your likes and dislikes down in the comments. And that goes the same for if anybody back in New Jersey is watching this video. Put your likes and dislikes down in the comments. Well, as always, thanks for watching. See you on the next one, out on the road. Ciao, ciao.